Here are 25 tips to help you be more productive on your iPhone. I'm going to show you how you can drop all the things from photos, text, and even websites. Don't shake to undo, there's a better way to do that. Pull phone numbers and text from images, new features in iOS 18 like recording calls, transcribe audio files and notes, make any email or web page into a PDF, and some secret gestures to help you get around your phone faster. First, maybe you're in an Apple Note or a Pages document and you wanted to be able to move some text. Well, you can select it and then copy and paste it somewhere else, but you can also just tap and drag the text itself. Once it's selected, I'll tap and hold on it, and now I can drag it around, including moving it farther up into the note, and you'll see that big cursor right there is telling me where it's going to drop. I'll put it right at the beginning, and I've rearranged my note by selecting and dragging the text. Now, tip number 2, maybe you want to undo that change. Maybe you're shaking your phone and then you see the undo, but you don't have to do that anymore. Just take 3 fingers, swipe from right to left, and that will undo the last thing you did. Take 3 fingers and swipe left to right, and that will redo it. Or you can just tap with 3 fingers, and that will bring up the undo and copy menu, and you can do it this way as well. Tip number 3, that tapping and dragging of text, not only does it work within a note, but you can also do it across apps. So now, keeping my finger on the screen, I'm dragging this entire paragraph text somewhere else, and maybe I want to text it to someone. Well, I can drag it to a text conversation and it will drop all the text that I had selected there in the Compose window. At tip number 4, you can actually drag and drop a lot of things right here on your iPhone. Let's say you wanted to drag an entire message conversation and add it to reminders. Well, I can tap and hold on a conversation here in the Messages app. I'll start moving it around by dragging it, swipe to go home, and now that I have it dragging around the home screen, I'm going to open the Reminders app, and I can literally drop the text message conversation, and it's going to create a new reminder with a link to that message conversation. Now if I create a reminder and even do an alert, I can tap on that little symbol and it'll bring me right to that conversation. You can also drag and drop images. So I can be here in my photo library. I'll start dragging an image, moving it around the home screen. Let's go back to the messages, drop it on a text conversation, and now it'll put that image there in the Compose window of the message. This even works if you're looking at images on the web or even a Google image search. I can tap and hold on an image here in Safari, start dragging it around, go back to my text messages, drop it in a conversation, and that image will be there in the Compose window. You can also drag and drop images to reminders, start dragging it around, open reminders, drop it in, and it will attach that image to a new reminder. Tap the little image icon and you'll see it zoomed in. You can also do this with websites here in Safari. Maybe I want to send someone this article. That was my year in review with Apple Vision Pro. I'll go to the website, and then down here in the address bar, I'm going to tap and start dragging it away, and now I'm holding that URL. I can go back to Messages, let go, and it'll drop the URL there. Or I can do this somewhere else, like Apple Notes. I'll go back to Apple Notes here, drop the link, and that will actually create a rich text card with the link that I had in Safari. That also works for Apple Reminders. I'll go to the Reminders app, drop the URL, and that creates a new reminder with the link attached. All right, that was a long tip, but tip number 5, you can select multiple items in a list just by dragging with 2 fingers. Now that I have a multiple selected, I can hit the trash can and they're gone. This also works in your Apple Notes folders. Quickly select multiple notes just by swiping down with 2 fingers. It also works in Mail. Quickly select multiple messages by swiping down with 2 fingers. It even works in Shortcuts. Swipe down with 2 fingers, multiple selected. If you want to select multiple messages, conversations to delete them, you can do that too. And before we get to the next tips, this video is brought to you by Clic for Sonos. If you follow the channel for a while, you know I have a lot of Sonos gear. Sonos Arc, Beam, different subs. And while you can use AirPlay on your iPhone to send music to those speakers, but that can get pretty cumbersome, especially if you have a bunch of HomePods, Apple TVs, and other devices around your house. Plus, when you use AirPlay, your device is connected to those speakers in a weird way and it gets messy. Well, with the Clic for Sonos app, you get lightning fast performance and you can control your entire Sonos system, multiple rooms and speakers, super fast. I can tap on a speaker icon and quickly add other Sonos speakers, adjust the volumes individually, and you can even create scenes with multiple speakers like on my patio. And here I can group multiple Move speakers, 1SLs, and those will stay connected on my patio scene. And Clic for Sonos now has a dedicated Mac app, so you can control your entire Sonos system from here with even a convenient menu bar icon, letting you quickly change volume, play and pause, start a song from your Apple Music library, and you can even jump into individual speaker settings. And for things like the Move 2, you can actually see whether it's charging and the battery percentage right here, adjust the bass, treble, loudness, and more, all from the Clic for Sonos app. You can control Apple Music, Spotify, Plex, Tidal, TuneIn, and your Sonos library, plus you can manage it all from the Clic for Sonos app on your Apple Watch. And Clic for Sonos seamlessly integrates widgets, live activities, and control center actions. Also, Clic for Sonos is made by a single developer, and I love being able to support great apps like this made by just a single person. So we have an exclusive deal. There's a link down in the description, or you can go to click.dance/Robles. I guess he knows I'm a salsa dancer. And the typical $15 a year is discounted to just $5 a year. I did it immediately, paid for the $5 myself, and I'll be using Clic for Sonos for my entire home system. That's click.dance/Robles, and the link is down in the description. My thanks to Clic for Sonos for sponsoring this video. Tip number 6, photo OCR on iPhone. When you're looking at something with a phone number or email address, when you open the camera app, this is just the stock camera app, it will start recognizing things in the frame, and you can tap this symbol right here, and then we'll actually show you the different things it's recognizing. Tap a phone number, and you can call or message it immediately. You don't even have to take the full picture. See an email address, and it'll start an email right away. Again, that's all without taking the picture at all, but if you do snap a photo, then you can go over to the Photos app, tap the same symbol you see here, and then you'll see the phone number, email address, all that it's pulling from the image, and also the option to translate the text you see on screen. This also works for larger portions of text. Let's say you're even looking at a book. I'm going to take a picture of this entire book page. Then if I go to the Photos app, you'll see that symbol is down there again, and when I tap it, I can actually copy all the text that it detects in the image and paste this in Notes or somewhere else. Number 7, this was a new feature in iOS 18, and sometimes I forget about it, but when you're in a message and you're composing, but maybe it's late at night and you want to send it later, tap the plus icon next to the Compose window, and you'll see the Send Later option in this menu. By default, it's like way down in this list, but you can just tap and hold, drag it up, and now you can have the Send Later option quickly available when you tap the plus icon there. Number 8, with iOS 18, you can actually record phone calls. Now when you're on the phone with someone, you can tap this icon here in the top left. It will actually alert the other person as well. It will say this call is being recorded, and then we'll actually start the recording. Now it also creates a new Apple Note because you're going to get a full transcription of this call, both what you're saying and what the other person is saying on the other side of the line. You can stop the recording here, or just end the call and the recording will stop as well. Then you can tap on the notification that drops down, and you'll have an audio recording of that call. Plus, in a few moments, it'll have a full transcript of everything that you and the other person said. Speaking of transcriptions, tip number 9 is you can add any audio file you want to an Apple Note, and you'll get an automatic transcription. You can tap on that transcription and read the entire thing. This even includes like podcast episode MP3s. Then if you have an iPhone with Apple Intelligence, you also get the option to summarize that transcript of a podcast or whatever audio was recorded. This also works in the Voice Memos app, so if you record a voice memo, you can tap the 3 dots and see a full transcript of everything that was recorded. All right, let's move on to the home screen. Maybe you've been moving some apps around and you want to clean up some superfluous home screens. Well, tap and hold to go into jiggle mode. And if you have multiple home screens, like when you swipe to the left or right, you can tap the dots here at the bottom, and you'll see little checkboxes under each home screen. And you can uncheck all the home screens you don't want, and then you'll be left with just the single home screen, and swipe right and you'll get to the app library. It's also a quick way to remove all the stock apps when you first get a new iPhone. Just delete all those home screens, and then you can just create one from scratch. Also, tip number 11, if you are arranging home screens, you can actually move apps across home screens, but rather than tap and drag a single app, go all the way to the edge of the home screen and then try to place it there, you can actually hold that one app with one finger, tap multiple apps with another finger, and now you're holding all those apps at once. Now you can drag them all to the right side of the screen, and they'll all move together. And that just eliminated that home screen. Now you can also remove multiple apps from your home screen at once by clicking, holding that one finger on the home screen, and then swipe over to the app library, go all the way over, let go, and now those apps will be removed from the home screen, but not deleted from your phone. They still live in the app library, and you can use them there. Number 12, there's a bunch of shortcuts even for third-party apps when you tap and hold on the app here on your home screen. For instance, Bear, my note-taking app, I can scan a document or start a new note right here just by tapping and holding the icon on the home screen. Same for Instagram, I can switch accounts or jump right to view my notifications. This also works for YouTube if you want to go directly to YouTube search, and a bunch of other things like Apple Maps. And it's really useful on the camera because you can tap and hold and jump into something like selfie mode, portrait, video, and other options. I did an entire video on all the things you can tap and hold on. You can check that video out above and down in the description. Next up, let's go back to Safari, and you probably know that you can open a website or link by long pressing on it and then tap open a new tab. But you can do this even faster by tapping with 2 fingers on a link, and it will open it in a new tab automatically. If I go to my tab view, you'll see that first page is still there. I can do it on this, 2-finger click on a link, and now it opened in a new tab. Then I can swipe to go back and forth between tabs just by swiping on the address bar here at the bottom of Safari. Number 14, if you want to quickly go into reader mode, which limits all the distractions and just lets you focus on the words, You can tap here and then tap Show Reader, but you can get to it even faster just by tapping and holding on this icon, and you'll automatically go into reader mode. Also, if you have Apple Intelligence, you can summarize any article that you're looking at in reader mode by tapping that summary icon there. Number 15, you can make any website and email a PDF. If you're looking at a website like this, I would hit the share button, and then where it says options, tap there and tap PDF, and then you can send this entire website to someone in PDF format. That includes a text message, and it will send it as an attachment. Now you can also do this with your mail messages. If I open the Mail app, let's say I wanted to send J Klaus's newsletter to someone as a PDF. Well, this one's a little harder. If I tap the reply arrow, I actually scroll down and I go to the print option. I know this seems counterintuitive, but when you're on this print screen, you don't actually have to print it. You'll see the preview of the pages down here. Now I can actually uncheck pages if I don't want them, but if I want to make this a PDF, I just take my fingers, pinch out on the PDF preview down at the bottom, and now I have a PDF document of that email. Then I can share this and it sends the PDF file. I can save it to files, text it to someone, do whatever I'd like. And that's how you can create a PDF of any email. A couple more email tips. If you want to reply to this email, but focus on a specific line or paragraph, if you select text before you hit the reply button, then Apple Mail will actually quote that part of the email with your reply. It won't have the entire email, just what you had selected. Also, while we're here in the email, and this works anywhere where you can type text, with iOS 18, you can do calculations live right here as you type. So let's say you're doing 1,000 times 3,000. As soon as I hit the equal sign, you'll actually get the answer right there. And now I can tap either the full equation or just the result of the equation, and then it will be replaced with the calculation itself. Also, not only does writing equations work in things like Apple Notes, but you can also do currency conversions by typing a $ like US dollar, type an equal sign, and now you get conversions to other currencies. Number 18, let's go back to Mail, and if you didn't know about the VIP feature, I highly recommend using it. Here you can mark certain senders as VIP. Whenever you get an email, just tap the sender here in the message, and then you'll see the Add VIP option here. And the reason why I do that is because then I can customize my email notifications to only allow things from VIPs. If I go down to Notifications and then go down to Mail, then I can scroll down to Customize Notifications, and here I can turn off mail notifications for all the individual accounts, but customize just VIP senders to have sounds, badges, and alerts. Tip number 19, Control Center. Remember, in iOS 18, you can customize everything here with different widgets, shortcuts, and more. I'll show you just one of my favorites. This is Share Shot. I can swipe down, and this is actually a shortcut with the Share Shot actions. I can tap that, and it's automatically going to create a nice screenshot with a frame and a color around it, and it's that simple. That one action in Control Center is worth the price of admission. If you want to learn how to do that and more shortcuts, I'll link a video above and down in the description. All right, next up, if you need to scan a document, rather than take a picture, we'll just choose this one. And now when you tap the three dots at the top, you can choose Scan Documents right here in Files. And let's say this is a piece of paper. It'll detect the scan. It'll do it automatically, or you can press the camera button at the bottom. And now it's going to create a PDF of those pages you scanned. You can save multiple pages in one. And now you have a PDF scan automatically in the folder you want because you started in the Files app. All right, tip number 21, let's go to Apple Maps. If you wanted to zoom to Apple Maps, but you only have one hand, this is kind of awkward trying to do it with two fingers, but instead you can tap and hold your finger on Apple Maps and then zoom in and out just by dragging your finger up and down. Swipe to another place on the map, tap once and then tap and hold, and you can zoom in and out with a single finger. Tip number 22, Reminders now has a Kanban board view. This actually gets really powerful, and if you were considering something besides Notion, you should look at Reminders. I did an entire video on my Reminders process. Yes, I'll link that one above too. Number 23, I highly recommend checking out focus modes. I have multiple focus modes set up for filming, for the weekend, for evenings, and every focus mode I have actually has a custom home screen, different settings for dark or light mode, notifications. I did an entire video for focus mode setups. I'll actually put that as the first link down in the description. All right, last two. Number 24, if you didn't know, Universal Clipboard across Apple devices is incredibly powerful. Let's say you selected some text here and you copied it on your iPhone. Well, if you have a Mac that's signed into the same Apple ID or an iPad, I can just paste, and it will paste that text on that other device that I copied on my iPhone. This even works for images, so I can tap and hold on an image, tap copy here on my iPhone, and then you'll even see on my Mac that little window that shows it was pasting, and now when I paste, I can paste that picture right here. It also works backwards from your Mac to your iPhone. And finally, number 25, Universal Control. I actually use universal control all the time to share files from my Mac over to my iPad. I can literally just drag it from one device to another, photos, audio files into Ferrite, and more. I did an entire video on my process of using my iPad for podcasting, including universal control, so you can check that out above. But that was 25 tips for your iPhone. If you'd like tips on iPad, Mac, or about a specific topic, let me know down in the comments. Or if there's a big one that I missed, I'd love to know down there too. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. I'll put my focus mode video right up here. And if you want to learn more about shortcuts, which is a huge way that I stay productive on iPhone, you can check out my latest shortcuts video right up here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.